The boy excitedly ran into his new home, and his father outside witnessed a desperate scene. Due to a gas pipeline leak, the entire street had turned into a sea of flames. Although the firefighters arrived promptly, as luck would have it, the only fire hydrant available had malfunctioned. At that moment, the water in the fire truck was not even enough to extinguish the fire in one house. Faced with the boy's father's eager eyes, Bobby had no choice but to call for support while instructing his team to save people first. It was then that Eddie noticed the boy by the second-floor window. Buck quickly boarded the ladder truck and swiftly approached the window. But just as he was about to grab the boy's hand, the ladder suddenly broke. Fortunately, Buck was agile and narrowly escaped the disaster. By this time, the fire had already reached the window. The panicked boy wanted to change his position, but the path behind him was already blocked by thick smoke. With nowhere to escape, the helpless boy fainted next to the toilet. Seeing the urgency of the situation, Eddie climbed onto the roof using the rain gutter. He quickly secured the rope to the chimney and jumped inside. The house was filled with thick smoke, and Eddie could only shout the boy's name loudly, but received no response. After a long search, he finally found the boy, who had already passed out on the floor next to the toilet. Fortunately, the boy still had a faint pulse, but another explosion occurred unexpectedly, blocking all retreat paths.
Cap, negative on evac! Pin down south side of the house!
The team outside was also having a hard time, as they had no water to extinguish the fire. Just as everyone was at a loss, Bobby suddenly stared blankly at the sky. As everyone looked on in confusion, a firefighting plane rapidly approached. Bobby immediately ordered everyone to take cover under the fire truck. Eddie, who learned about the news inside the house, was also a bit dazed. He didn't understand why the government would bother to dispatch an expensive plane to extinguish such a small fire, but he still took the boy and hid in the bathtub. As the plane flew over, hundreds of tons of water descended from the sky, instantly extinguishing the fire. Facing the expectant eyes of everyone, Eddie walked out with the boy, who had also resumed breathing. Everyone finally smiled happily. In fact, there is no such thing as a peaceful time. It's just that there are people like this who are bearing the burden for us and moving forward.